It is part of the West Kirby tradition that from time to time the club breaks away from its ordinary routine and sets itself a challenge, issuing a call to arms that members respond to in our unique style. The task might be running a Cadet World Championship or Firefly Nationals at Pwllheli, or rebuilding the old lake wall. Whatever it is, the job will be accomplished efficiently, without undue fuss, and always with a sense of fun. In 1992, the club applied to the IYRU to host the first official World Team Racing Championships, but was turned down in favour of the Royal Canadian Yacht Club. The event didn't go ahead. With encouragement from the United States Team Racing Association, it was decided, after a rather late evening, to make a fresh bid to put team racing on the world map. After much lobbying and consultation, and with support from the RYA, the IYRU meeting at Budapest in April 1994 formally accepted West Kirby's bid. The newest challenge was underway. The final entry list was a mixture of well-known team racing nations and relative newcomers. Sadly, although strong supporters of the event, New Zealand had to pull out because of financial difficulties. Otherwise, all the top players were there, ready to produce a genuine world championship. The Great Britain teams had been selected at a weekend of trials in May, with 12 competing club teams taking part. GBA was from Spinnaker, who narrowly beat the West Kirby team, who sailed as GBB. After team registration on Monday evening, the event began in earnest on Tuesday morning, with the first practice day. Working to a fixed schedule, teams were given time to familiarise themselves with the boats and to sail in practice races. For the practice races, their sparring partners were WKSC members, many of them juniors. Our sailors gave an excellent account of themselves, indicating to many visitors the level of competition to come. The BBC cameras came down on Tuesday morning to take a few shots and ended up staying all day, clearly fascinated by the visual impact of the racing. To the simultaneous delight and horror of the organising team, the BBC director announced that he wanted to do a live outside broadcast from the opening ceremony.
Well, the Northwest is witnessing a splash of sporting history tonight. Let's join Peter Stevenson at West Kirby on Wirral to find out why.
Yes, the band is here as we mark the start of the world's first team racing championships here at West Kirby. 12 teams from 10 countries are here as sailing's fifth and final discipline gets its own world championships. And what better place to start than here on the Wirral coast, where team racing began nearly 50 years ago. They call it chess on water. And certainly every inch of the marine lake at West Kirby will be closely fought over in the coming days. These fiberglass dinghies, given the merest hint of a breeze, can guarantee international competition to rival the more glamorous and expensive Admiral's Cup contest. Two British teams are considered strong favourites, along with the Americans and Australians.
And we like to think that we're ironing out the bugs now, and we're going to be ready and to beat them, to beat all the teams. And we can't see why not.
We're going to win, no doubt. We're going to win. USA, Britain finals. I would say two British teams in the semifinals, meeting in the semifinals, and outside chance would be Australia or Ireland.
The official who'll keep everyone in check is Chief Umpire John Dewar, who operates on the water. He's just back from Admiral's Cup duty. From now until Saturday's final, he hopes for plenty of competitive but good-natured edge.
The fact is we're going to make decisions between competitors who are effectively protesting each other. We're going to keep some happy and some not so happy. And the guys are serious guys, they'll be wound up, and every now and again they'll react to a call. We understand that. As long as they're not abusive or use foul language, then we don't have a problem with that.
West Kirby successfully outbid the rest of the world for the honour of staging this first event. The boost to the local economy has already been seen. The marine lake is an excellent venue too. Hundreds of spectators are expected to attend 4 days of high-class sailing. Some of the rules and certain tactics are inevitably complicated, But the World Club's idea of coloured-coded sails means it's all pretty simple to spot the sailor you're supporting. Well, as the celebrations continue, I'm joined by Steve Dransfield, who's organised the event, and the winner's trophy as well. Steve, what's it been like organising the first event in the world of its kind?
It's been pretty hard work, but well rewarded now that all the teams have turned up and we've got marvellous weather.
No little hiccups on the way?
Oh, there's always one or two hiccups when organising an event like this, but generally it's gone very well, thank you.
But have teams in Japan and Australia really heard of West Kirby?
I don't think they had a couple of years ago when we first started working on this event, but they have now. They're all here and they're enjoying themselves.
Now, when I arrived this morning, no wind at all, but you've got a bit of a breeze now. Presumably that's a great relief to you.
Absolutely, yes. But normally at West Kirby we get a good breeze in the afternoon, and we've had nice wind here since lunchtime.
Now, if people want to come along tomorrow, what can you do to encourage them? Because, I mean, it might look a bit complicated. They might wonder if they can follow it.
It's very, very simple. The boats, it's three red boats versus 3 yellow boats, or all various colours, so you can easily see what's going on.
Are Britain going to win? We've got 2 home teams on the home territory.
I've got to be unbiased, really, haven't I, as the organiser, but I think Britain are in with a good chance.
OK, let's hope so. And the really big plus, Merrin, is that it's free admission. All we need is a little bit of breeze. And before we go,
They didn't deliver the beer today.
His Worship, the Mayor, Lady Mayoress, honoured ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the opening ceremony of the first World Team Racing event.
The umpire boats were used to spell out a welcome with international code flags after a daring aquatic version of a Red Arrows display.
And to declare this championship, this team racing championship of the world, open. So can we please raise?
After the opening ceremony dinner, it was more practice for the competitors on Wednesday morning. After a final briefing, the competition began in earnest. The first section of the championship took the form of a league in which all the teams met. The event required a pool of 18 new Firefly dinghies that were evenly matched in all respects. Building and fitting out had taken place over 12 months under the experienced eye of boat manager Alan Jenkins. Launching and rigging were carried out by Beachmaster Andy Bamforth and his team, all used to working under pressure from many past Wilson Trophy events. The club launch was released from its normal role to become the base for a high-tech starting system. This was another West Kirby first, dispensing with signal flags and using a digital display with sound signals. Ray Griffin's starting teams still provided the vital human element to identify early starters. Good organization on the water was obviously vital, but West Kirby had another part of its reputation to live up to, on the social side. Milo Parry and his team approached their entertainment brief like the serious partygoers they all are. Apart from masterminding the opening and closing ceremonies, the evenings were filled with music, ranging from jazz to a steel band, finishing with the amazing Berliner Beatles. Driven purely by a sense of duty and hospitality, club members demonstrated their legendary stamina during the week, helping competitors to account for many gallons of beer and even more bottles of wine, all without there being any defaulters the following day. Some of the teams also helped with the entertainment. After a week of near-perfect conditions, competitors arrived on Friday morning to find a spray-covered lake whipped up by a northwesterly gale. The chief race officer, David Robinson, had no choice but to postpone racing. As the day went on, he dispatched an experienced helm and crew out onto the lake at regular intervals to test conditions. Even under very reduced sail, these hardy volunteers couldn't avoid going for a swim. In the end, the only action on the water was for West Kirby Lifeboat retrieving windsurfers. To get back on schedule, the race committee called for a 6:30 start on Saturday. To the credit of the beach party and competitors, the first race started on the dot, while the rest of the Wirral was sleeping soundly. Single-lap races were sailed, enabling the 66 race league to be completed by mid-morning. The league table showed Great Britain A and B with 10 wins out of 11 sailed, Ireland A 9 wins, United States A 8 wins, Ireland B and Australia 7 wins, United States B 5 wins, Canada 4 wins. Just missing the cut into the quarterfinals were South Africa, Japan, Netherlands and the Czech Republic. The event rules provided that if two teams from the same country reached the quarterfinals, they had to be drawn against each other. The draw looked like this, with the A and B teams matched together and Canada and Australia completing the table. The final knockout rounds were all sailed on a best-of-3 basis. Great Britain A and Ireland A both beat their B teams in 2 races. But the United States B team fought back from a 1-0 deficit to beat their A team in a fierce third race. Australia were convincing winners against Canada. With live commentary by Bob Fisher, watching from the 2 packed grandstands, the atmosphere began to build, with over 2,000 spectators lining the promenade. Sailors and non-sailors alike were totally caught up in the drama unfolding on the water as the semi-finals began. Both Great Britain A and Ireland A showed awesome team racing skills to beat USA A and Australia by wide margins in 2 races, thus reaching the final of the first ever World Team Racing Championship. While the finalists got their breath back, Australia beat USA B 2-0 in the 3rd place sail-off. Even the weather seemed to be infected by the mounting excitement as the wind picked up to a brisk force 4 to 5. Slick work by the beach party saw the boat soon out on the water again with smaller mainsails. Great Britain A looked to be well in control throughout the first race, finishing with a comfortable 1-2-6. Ireland's response in the second race began with a brave fight back as they put themselves into a potentially winning 2-3-4 combination. Just as everything looked set for a three-race final, Great Britain snatched victory in a spectacular final beat to the line. The trophy, which had been donated by West Kirby members, was engraved on site with the winning team's name and displayed with the IYRU medals. The IYRU technical representative later reported on the event, saying, "The championship was a terrific success. I doubt if any of the visiting sailors will ever have experienced such good organisation, received better hospitality, or had more fun."
Jonathan Ellis, the Managing Director of Sony, will present the Sony Interactive Prize to the crew who have, in the eyes of the judges, turned in the best performance both on and off the water. Jonathan Ellis.
I thought we were actually presenting this prize for the people who drank the most, but maybe it's the same thing. The winners are Sam Penny and Doug Hawksworth of South Africa.
Would you now welcome Brian Southcott to present the IYRU World Team Racing Championship Trophy for sportsmanship.
After a very close decision, I would like to award this to our wonderful team from the Czech Republic.
Who is chairman of the IYRU Events Committee, and Richard Corner, Commodore of West Kirby Sailing Club, who will present the medals and the IYRU World Team Racing Championship trophy. The winners of the bronze medal are Australia. Manager Gillian Cockley, offshore-onshore coordinator Kylie Young, Brett Young helmsman, Alan Benkel crew, Grant Evans crew, Sarah Humphreys crew, Sandy Higgins helm, and Niall Kinch crew. The winners of the silver medal, Island A. Marshall King, helm, Rachel Krebin, crew, Mark Little, helm, Paddy Oliver, crew, Tom Fitzpatrick, helm, and David McHugh, crew. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the winners of the gold medal are United Kingdom A. Team leader Chris Atkins, Stephen Toilcott, helm, Melanie Hughes, crew, Greg Eaton, helm, Tasha Hughes, crew, Roger Morris, helm, Damien Borman, crew. The Commodore, Richard Corner, will now present the trophy.
The challenge was over. Now it was time for the biggest party yet.